As we approach January, Trump and Elon Musk are already making ripple effects around the world as countries gear up and prepare for another Trump term. From Elon Musk's Twitter dominance and his beef with Microsoft to Trump's political comeback and Putin's geopolitical chess moves, we've got it all covered. The DOGE phenomenon is already full steam ahead, and the heat is on regarding immigration debates. Plus, we'll unpack the latest on Ukraine, Musk's gaming industry challenge, and a shocking Justice Department decision that's got everyone talking. This is just the start to what is going to be an insane next 4 years for America and the world. Trump's victory marks a seismic shift in American politics, overcoming 4 indictments and a conviction to secure a second term. His win signals a return to his America First agenda, with promises to close the southern border and implement protective tariffs. Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, is already making waves, threatening jail time for Democrats in states that resist mass deportation plans, basically saying either get on board or else. This hardline stance on immigration was a key factor in Trump's victory, resonating with voters concerned about border security. Working with Greg Abbott in Texas and developing strategies to best implement these changes, Tom has emphasized contracting and outsourcing some of the work at the border to keep officials protecting and patrolling our streets. In a move that's raised eyebrows, the U.S. Justice Department dropped all charges against Trump going into his presidency. This decision has sparked intense debate about the independence of the justice system and the implications for future presidential accountability. Special Counsel Jack Smith cited the long-standing Department of Justice policy that prohibits the persecution of a sitting president, emphasizing that this prohibition is categorical and does not depend on the severity of the alleged crimes or the strength of the evidence, which is kind of crazy to say. Anyway, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg met with President-elect Trump at Mar-a-Lago for a Thanksgiving Eve dinner. This meeting is significant given their previously strained relationship, including Facebook's ban on Trump following the January 6, 2021 Capitol riots. Zuckerberg's visit is seen as an attempt to hash out differences and potentially align with Trump's economic plans. The meeting has sparked discussions about the evolving relationship between tech giants and political leadership, especially after seeing everything with Elon Musk. On the international stage, Trump's victory is already causing, I guess you can call it, panic. He's threatened Canada and Mexico with a 25% tariff, leaving Prime Minister Trudeau on edge, and has even sparked a response from the President of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum. Trudeau has tried to project calm and confidence, saying that he believed that Mr. Trump would see that tariffs would harm both countries, which are each other's biggest trading partners. About 80% of Canada's oil and 40% of its gas are exported to the United States, and the two countries are deeply intertwined through the joint manufacturing of cars, as well as in multiple other industries. While details of the meeting between Trudeau and Trump in Florida are scarce, it's clear that U.S.-Canada relations are entering a tense new phase under Trump's renewed leadership. If you're enjoying this video and the awesome content, make sure to like and subscribe. All your support helps us keep the channel going and helps us keep bringing you amazing content. Okay, you're subscribed. Now let's get back to the video. Trump said that the meeting with Trudeau had been productive and that the two men had discussed important topics such as the fentanyl drug crisis, fair trade deals, and the United States trade deficit with Canada. Donald Trump said that Minister Trudeau had made a commitment to work with the United States to end the cross-border flow of fentanyl that has caused terrible devastations for U.S. families. Trump also said that the pair had discussed many other important topics like energy, trade, and the Arctic. President Sheinbaum said she is confident that a tariff war with the United States can be averted the day after she held a conversation over the phone with Donald Trump. More specifically, there will be no potential tariff war. Sheinbaum said flatly when asked about the issues at her daily morning news briefing. Just before Thanksgiving, Trump wrote that Sheinbaum had agreed to stop unauthorized migration across the border into the United States. She wrote on her social media account the same day, claiming that that wasn't necessarily accurate, stating, "We reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close borders but build bridges between governments and between people." It's a clear sign that Trump's aggressive trade and border policies are back on the table and going nowhere fast. President-elect has threatened to impose 100% tariffs on BRIC nations if they attempt to create a new currency or support an alternative to replace the US dollar. This comes in response to discussions among BRICS countries about moving away from dollar dominance in international trade. Trump's warning, issued via social media, we all know it's X, formerly Twitter, demands a commitment from these countries to maintain the dollar status as the primary global reserve currency or face severe economic consequences. Moving to the tech world, Elon Musk is making making headlines again. He's taken aim at Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, accusing the company of illegal hiring practices. Musk claims Microsoft's gaming division is discriminating against white candidates, a charge that stirred up controversy in Silicon Valley. Musk's accusation against Microsoft's hiring practices in its gaming division touches on a broader issue of diversity and inclusion in tech. This controversy reflects ongoing debates about affirmative action and corporate diversity initiatives, especially in light of recent Supreme Court decisions. Walmart, for instance,
planning on rolling back some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Is rolling back its diversity commitments amid a broader backlash against DEI programs. But Musk isn't just picking fights. He's expanding his empire. Fresh off becoming the world's richest man following Trump's victory, Musk has announced plans to enter the gaming industry. Could we see a Tesla brand video game in the near future? Statistically, Musk's net worth, estimated at a minimum of $200 billion, gives him unprecedented financial power to influence various sectors. His companies, including Tesla and SpaceX, have received billions in government contracts and subsidies, further intertwining his business interests with government policy. The clash between Elon Musk and California Governor Gavin Newsom over electric vehicle regulations has intensified, centering on a proposed state-level incentive program that aims to replace the federal $7,500 tax credit for EV buyers, which is expected to be eliminated under President-elect Donald Trump. Newsom's plan includes market share restrictions that would likely exclude Tesla's popular models, prompting Musk to publicly express his frustration. He described the proposal as insane, arguing that it could harm California's economy and job market, given that Tesla's Fremont factory produces over 550,000 vehicles annually and employs more than 20,000 people. Musk's concerns are echoed by critics like Republican Representative Ro Khanna, who warns that such restrictions could lead Tesla to relocate jobs from California to its new facility in Austin, Texas. Meanwhile, Newsom's office insists that the specifics of the plan are still subject to change and emphasizes the goal of fostering a competitive environment for all EV manufacturers in the state. This dispute underscores the complex seesaw between government policies, environmental objectives, and business interest in California's rapidly evolving EV market. Musk's roles in DOGE have raised concerns about potential conflicts of interest given all his company's extensive government contracts. This department, while not an official government agency, aims to streamline federal operations and reduce spending. The creation of the Department of Government Efficiency represents a bold attempt to reshape federal spending overall. Musk and Ramaswamy plan to target $500 billion in annual spending cuts, focusing on dismantling government bureaucracy, slashing regulations, and restructuring federal agencies. Some of the first things we've seen collective interest around are enforcing a full work week for federal employees, potentially leading to voluntary terminations, auditing government contracts to realize savings and determine the minimum number of employees needed for agencies to function, which I feel should have been done a long time ago, and also reclaiming $500 billion in funds either sanctioned by Congress or misallocated, including cuts to public broadcasting and international grants. This is interesting because it's almost common knowledge at this point that the US government misallocates a ton of money, and with so many problems and issues that could use the funds, this seems like such a huge misstep. Historical context is crucial here. According to USA Facts, federal spending has consistently exceeded $5 trillion annually since 2018, with revenues surpassing $4 trillion since 2015. The government has been running deficits for years, with spending outpacing inflation for decades, basically putting out more than we're getting in. From 1980 to 2019, federal spending grew by an average of 2.3% annually after adjusting for inflation. The federal deficit reached a record $3.6 trillion in 2020 due to pandemic-related spending. While it has since decreased, it remained at $1.7 trillion in 2023, significantly higher than pre-pandemic levels. DOGE's proposed $500 billion in cuts would represent a substantial portion of this deficit. Expert analysis suggests that while reducing government inefficiency is a realistic goal, rapid and drastic cuts could lead to unintended consequences. Dr. Alice Johnson, a public policy expert at Georgetown University, notes, while streamlining government operations is important, we must be cautious about the potential impacts on essential services and the federal workforce. On the global stage, Russian President Vladimir Putin is making strategic moves. He's praised Trump as smart enough to end the Russia-Ukraine war, a compliment that's raised eyebrows in diplomatic circles. More significantly, Putin has drawn a line in the sand, declaring no nukes in Ukraine. What I think is more interesting, or concerning rather, is he has clearly stated that he will use quote-unquote everything if Ukraine has nuclear access. This stance could reshape the ongoing conflict in Eastern Europe. The global nuclear landscape remains a critical concern. As of January 2023, the total global nuclear stockpile was estimated at 12,512 warheads, a decrease of 193 from January 2022. The United States and Russia continue to dominate, accounting for about 90% of the global nuclear arsenal. Historically, nuclear stockpiles peaked in 1985 with an estimated 63,600 warheads. The current reduction represents significant progress in disarmament efforts, but challenges remain. Economically, global nuclear weapons spending surged to $91.4 billion in 2023, an increase of $10.7 billion from 2022. This represents $2,898 spent on nuclear weapons every second. The United States alone spends $51.5 billion, more than all other nuclear-armed countries combined. In a concerning development, Putin has unveiled a new weapon called the Oreshnik. NATO officials are scrambling to understand its capabilities and potential impact on global security. The Oreshnik, a new hypersonic ballistic missile unveiled by Russian President Vladimir Putin, was recently used in an attack on the Ukraine city of Dnipro. Putin claims the missile can travel at speeds above Mach 10, making it nearly impossible for current air defense systems to intercept. The Oreshnik is capable of carrying multiple independently guided warheads, which can be conventional or nuclear, and is a part of Russia's expanding arsenal of intermediate-range missiles. This new weapons deployment has raised concerns among Western nations about potential nuclear escalation and is seen as a message to NATO about Russia's military capabilities. But after seeing all the numbers we just covered on nuclear spending, I can only imagine what the US has hiding behind the surface.